Just chill out.
Oh, they have a bar in there.
Yeah, you just bring your family. They do board games and just kind of hang out, watch sports.
Really?
Yeah, you bring your dog, and it's right next door. There's a lady that does
You can bring your kid in there?
Yeah.
It's like a little stop in.
It's a family
not
business.
really like a bar.
Do they have like crackers and cheese?
Next door.
I don't think so.
Next door, they have a seafood house that she delivers to you, and she does Tay's tuna dip and all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, guys, if you're just tuning in, this is another episode of Jourdan and Matthew. And once and again, we're talking about hops and growlers. You can go check them out downtown Ocean Springs on Government Street. Tonight, we'll be drinking on some maple cake stout. And we also have some blueberry wheat. Joining us tonight will be Chase Sherman, the Vanilla Gorilla. Chase has just had some of this blueberry wheat. What'd you think about it, dude?
It was good. It was light. It's floral. It was good. This one's good too, though. It just depends on what kind of mood you're in.
That's right.
Like I said earlier, this one, like, it's a little sweet. I always like sweet stuff right before I go to bed.
Yeah.
So maybe after dinner, like a little dessert beer.
And also
TV, the recliner,
and also Marty Wilson actually swung by and dropped us some face mask off.
Yeah, these are cool.
Yeah. You can always go get those down at Marty's
I didn't know.
Gallery.
Yeah, I was always a fan of his artwork. And I didn't know you were friends with him.
So I've actually been in your seat once before. He's been on the podcast before. Yeah, it was a good episode. You should check it out.
Yeah.
He actually tells us the story of this fish in that podcast. And this is the fish that you guys can see on the front of the reef, I think, and several other places. I know it's called Big Mo. And I know he's got prints for sale down at his gallery, Marty Wilson Galleries in Gulfport.
Let's dive in. What's a Vennela Academy?
Oh, the Vennela Gorilla Academy.
Vennela Grill Academy.
Vennela Academy. I don't really know.
I'm sorry.
That's where you make pudding.
That's what.
It's a stout.
That's a funny thing you say that, because when I was in the academy, like the fire academy, my lieutenant was like, "We're just gonna call you Vanilla Pudding," because like one day I got stuck in the tubes. I was like screaming bloody murder for them to get me out of
Claustrophobic. That was part of like your training or what?
Yeah. So they had these, they would get us fully packed out, and they asked us if anybody was claustrophobic, and everybody's like, no, we're good. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm cool. Yeah. But I've never obviously been stuck
in that situation.
Yeah. So we were fully packed out, and, about 60 pounds of gear. And this was in the middle of the summer, and they had these tubes about 30 yards long. They were black tubes, the plastic culvert tubes that you see.
Yeah.
And they have, they had the 48-inch ones, was like 4 foot in diameter, which weren't too bad, and then they had the 24-inch ones, which was like super small. And so we hadn't gone through them yet or anything, but so they ran us through like a circuit basically in our pack and had us
obstacle course kind of thing.
Yeah, sucking down a bottle, and we thought we were done. We were like, okay, we're almost done, and they were like, no. They thought we were done. They're like, getting these tubes, grab the sand hoses. So you have these, these large diameter hoses that are supposed to simulate like a fire hose.
Yeah.
And they fill them up with sand instead of water. And we had to go through these tubes, and we'd never even done it. And so we started going through them, and we're going through the 4 foot high ones, which are fine, trying to slide the hose through. Everybody's in line, and I'm like the last one. And everybody's low air alarm's already going off,
right.
They're beeping, and we get to like the 2 foot ones that were connected to it, and I hear a guy that was much smaller than me, about 3 people ahead, going like, "I can't fit." Like, he's like screaming. He's like, I can't get through here." Like, he's like, "Get me out." And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like,
he's still 5 feet in front of you. 10 feet
I was like,
if
this guy can't make it through there, how am I gonna get through there? And then we're going like dragging this hose through there too, so. And so I get up there, and I'm like trying to squeeze through, and I'm like you have to stretch all the way out, and it's nothing but fingertips and toes. That's it. There's no space at all whatsoever.
That's just like frightening for me, because I do get claustrophobic.
And it is hot. You're baking in there. These are black plastic tubes. It's in the middle of July, and you're
in Mississippi
in full firefighter gear, masked out.
What's the weight on the gear?
About just the air tank alone's close to 60 pounds, and then you got the boots and the jacket and the gloves,
hat and all
the helmet, the Nomex hood. And,
so at least 100 pounds, you would think.
Yeah, and I'm like trying to get through this tube, and then like my low air alarm's going off, and like as your low air alarm is going off, you run out of air, your mask sucks to your face. You're like, you're not getting air unless you can reach your regulator and pull it off, and then you're breathing through the little hole in your mask. But I can't reach my regulator because I'm
arms are extended.
Yeah, I'm all stuck. So I'm thinking, I'm like, I'm gonna die in here.
Oh no, man!
So I'm like, let me out. And they're like, no, keep going. I was like, let me out, please. And they're like, keep going, Sherman. I was like, look, if you don't freaking let me out of these tubes, you're going to have a serious problem if you don't let me out of these tubes.
Yeah, you're going to die in it.
There's like,
Vennela Pudding.
It was a little bit more explicit than that, yeah. I didn't care. The tubes were there. So they finally let me out, and I was like ripping off my clothes, ripping off all my gear.
I've scuba dived frequently, and whenever I was getting trained, I was a kid. I was probably 11, 12 years old. Yeah. But they make you suck the last bit of air out of the tank, and we're underwater. And it's just like what you said. You know, you're sitting there, and you can feel the breaths getting harder and harder to draw out of that thing. And you go to suck all of a sudden, and you're like, and there's nothing there. And really, it's a terrifying feeling. And especially if you're in a situation where you can't do anything about it, which it sounds like you were at that point. You know, that's something that did they make you go back and revisit the hole, or was that a once and done?
No. You have to. If you don't go complete it that day, then you're done. But as you progress through the academy, they start making it harder. Eventually we went through the tubes, and then they would do it to where like we were pushing cylinder blocks through it, and then they did it to where we were blacked out, you couldn't see. And then they started doing.
But you become more and more comfortable every time you get in there.
Well, you realize you're going to survive, and then you start. And then we did one day where we have like 90-degree turns in it, so you have to pretty much like finagle your way through a 90-degree turn, and it's crazy.
Well, I would come unglued. It'd be like busting out of that thing, or I'd just die. Probably.
Yeah. It's crazy. It sucks. And they never let you go in there when you're not tired. They never let you go in there with a clear mind. They want you just frantically, like you're already sucking down a bottle, and
really that's the only way to be comfortable
in that environment.
Yeah,
because you have a structure collapse on you or whatever. You're in a burning building and you get pinned down, or you have to go through, save somebody out of a culvert or whatever the case may be. So you understand the method to the madness, but that's where the lieutenant started calling me Vennela Pudding, and of course I couldn't say anything. But I told him, I said, look, when the academy was over, I had the bare knuckle heavyweight championship fight, and I was like, "We'll beat this dude's ass. You're not calling me that anymore."
Fair deal.
Fair deal.
Yeah.
So what does he call you now?
Yeah, he's Sherman.
Yeah, that's good.
But
that's respect, though. He's got to respect you, right?
Yeah. So going back to what you originally asked about the academy, so the Vennela Grill Academy basically is something I've been working on for a while, and it just kind of really kicked off during this coronavirus. But a little background story on it is, I played college football.
The Okra, right? Delta State.
Fighting Okra, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. The only team to play for a national championship in a long time in Mississippi. Yeah.
That's good.
That's
At least
good,
somebody's doing it.
Yeah. So anyway, I know it's Division II, but whatever.
Hey, no.
Anyways,
football.
Yeah. Anyway, so I got my degree in exercise science physiology. So I always wanted to do like sports performance and things like that, and I always wanted to train athletes, and so I wanted to be a coach. I was a personal trainer for a while and try to help out some of the kids, but it never really took off. Well, I was just working out at my house in the garage, and I got a little bit of equipment in there, and my buddy was just put a little story up of me lifting some weights, and is this okay?
Yeah, you just got to bring it up just a little bit, buddy.
All right. I don't want your sound to be messed up. But anyway, so he videoed it and put it on Facebook, and then my lieutenant seen it, and he was like, "Hey, will you train my kids?" I said, "Yeah, come on, bring them by, not a big deal, And so I, put them through a little workout and
give them a nickname.
Yeah, and he videoed it, and his wife put up the video on Facebook, and literally like within minutes, parents were like, train my kid, do this and do that. And I was like, okay, sure.
Humbling feeling.
Well, there was like, there was more or less like,
you're going to do it.
Get my kid out the freaking house.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything. Take my money. Get him out the dang house. These kids all play, high school sports or their
which is a very important stage in someone's life when they need to be training or be, under some supervision of someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, sure, and this is all happening overnight. I haven't even devised really a business plan or a format of how it's going to work or anything. And the next day I was like, all right, y'all show up at this time. And I walk outside and it's like 10 to 12 kids standing in my yard. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's awesome though.
Yeah. I was like, Crystal was like, do you need some help? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to need some help. And so ended up splitting them up into groups, the younger group and the older group will run two classes. And it's been going really well. It's been picking up pretty good.
Where can people find it and sign up?
So Vennela Academy, I have a Facebook page and I post content on there. But really where this is going is this all happened right before I got called back up to the UFC. And I wanted to do this in my first stint in the UFC, but it just didn't happen. But now, the clientele's building, the name's building, and it couldn't have happened at a better time.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
I love watching it, man, because I dive into social media, late night, and I see you, pushing through, and it's really cool because is it Tractor? Is that his little boy?
Yeah, he ain't little.
No, I know.
This kid is gonna be a stud.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
where's he play ball at? Diablo?
St. Patrick.
St. Patrick.
Yeah, well, that's his only downfall. He plays at a private school.
Yeah. But that doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
At the end
He's
of
gonna
the
be
day,
a stud. I'm just latching out at
that's funny.
But he's gonna be a stud, man. You've seen him.
Yeah.
He's gonna be. He's a sophomore still. He's gonna be a junior.
And for you to have an implemental role in that kid's development, that's only says
that's huge,
how much
man.
respect they have for you.
Yeah.
And what kind of testament as far as where you've been and what you know and your knowledge and applying it. Like you said, you went to school for that. You got a degree for that.
Yep.
Then you went on to the next level, and found out what it took mentally.
Yeah.
And then made it to the UFC, as you said, and then left the UFC. And then here we are, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, you get a phone call saying, hey, Chase, we want you back. And you take the fight on a whim and say, I'll do it with, 6 days notice, I think you just said?
Yeah, I had 6 days to
and then come in and dominate and look like you belong there the whole time. So people see that. And for these kids, man, I know if I was, 15, 16 years old and got a chance to come train with somebody of that stature, I'd be at all.
Yeah,
they're learning everything I could.
They sent me little videos and stuff before, it was pretty cool. And they all had a little sleepover and
watch the fight.
See,
that's what's up.
Yeah. I was like, oh. But I also bringing in, I've been bringing in people too to talk to them, just people like, Sean Merrill came today and worked out with them.
I saw that picture.
Great dude.
Yeah.
And that's what they need, because, you could hear it 100 times from one person and somebody else could say the same exact thing and it could get through to somebody. It's just, I've learned that in life.
Yep.
And
brought my meal plan guy out there to talk to him about proper nutrition. Shout out to Advanced Meal Prep. They're awesome, dude.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Really?
Wayne. You can get him on Facebook and stuff, but his meals.
Oh, I know Wayne.
Dude, they're so, it's like $6, $8.
That's cheap.
And it's, oh my God.
He's a good dude. He's a great guy, man. He's one of the people when you meet him, and it's like, I met him at John Carter's real estate company. Didn't know him. This is when he worked for one of the restaurants, and he's a car guy. He's got some sick cars, and he just walked up, and me and him became friends. And he's just got this personality where you want to be around him because he's so nice. He cares.
Yeah.
Compassion takes a long way.
Dude, he stepped up. I never even really had that big of a relationship with him. I just had his meals. It's like, dude, I'd like to sit down with you sometime on how to work out, a deal or something for a sponsorship. And I got the call for the UFC. I said, look, I got 6 days, man. Will you help me out? Dude, he all my meals that whole week for free. He delivered 30, 40 meals
really?
Right there.
How much weight did you have to cut in between?
I didn't have to cut any weight. I didn't want to cut. And the thing is, I never have to cut weight. But if you're gonna be a pro athlete, you got to put the right fuel in your body.
That's
right.
right.
You got to run a freaking Lamborghini on unleaded.
Yeah.
So
It's got to be tough down here too.
Oh yeah, because there's
The food-
butter and fries.
Oh yeah,
that's
everything.
the thing is he makes like shrimp lo mein and different things that are the seasonings he puts in there is low sodium and he just uses good ingredients. But my body felt so damn good for that fight.
Good.
And
what's it called again? What's his company?
Advanced Meal Prep.
Advanced Meal Prep. I have to look it up.
Yeah,
They're out of Ironworks, huh?
yeah. He does. He brings them to
Doug and them?
Ironworks. Yeah, and he'll flash freeze them for you, or you can freeze them yourself too if you like. Don't eat any. When I went to Jacksonville, I froze the ones I had remaining, and then came back home, thawed them out, and they good to go.
So Jacksonville looked fun. One thing I noticed was it looked like somebody punched you in the stomach right before you got on into the ring or the arena or octagon or whatever they call it. And then I started thinking, I heard through the grapevine that was an old surfing
Battle wound. Yeah, they was just like, yeah, let's go surfing. I said, all right, I'm down. I didn't know surfing was so freaking exhausting.
We tried to do it in Costa Rica for Kovacevic's bachelor party.
Yeah.
And I thought I took my last breath like at least 3 different times. Like coming up, I'm like, crashing again.
So we was out there for about an hour and a half, and our jiu-jitsu coach, Mike Sanford, he never even made it past the break. The whole time he was just paddling his little arms up. He's like the little engine that could. He's just.
I mean, it's tough,
Dude,
but that thrill that you get out there, it's pretty unreal.
Every time he almost made it past the break, he'd get washed up by a wave and have to start all over again.
Yeah, I'd quit.
I have something to ask. This is not the fighting. It's you're one of my favorite Twitter guys.
Oh,
On Twitter, do you follow him on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter. Yeah,
amazing. He writes. I don't know. This is the best puns.
I saw the Buffalo Wild Wings, and that was good. That was good. And the call out there.
Yeah, I'm much funnier on Twitter. I guess because I can think
man, it's
about
awesome
stuff. It's not off the top of my head. I guess I just should heard.
Well, I just gotta give you a shout out to that because you. And what's your Twitter handle?
It's Chase Sherman. Just type in Chase Sherman. It'll be
okay.
First thing that pops up. We try to get
it's
some
a
followers.
little verified.
And then what's your Instagram?
It's Chase_Sherman_UFC.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know where to find him there. Look him up. Give him a
I'm
follow,
really trying to grow my Instagram more than anything.
right there.
Because
Well, there you
most
go.
of our sponsorship
It's all
deals,
through that.
It's
Yeah.
mostly through Instagram because you could take pictures and videos. It's not.
And you're an influencer at this point.
Yeah,
You buy the certain gloves, you buy the certain shorts, and then you get them into your academy, and people there buy them, and then other people are going to buy them.
And see, I didn't ever, and I should have been doing that all along. But I'm the type of person like if I'm training, I'm not
worried
doing
about it.
video, I'm not doing this and that. And then really, what set it off was just I realized that I should have been doing that all along. Was just that one little video that helped, jumpstart the academy.
Right.
And I was like, I got to start like
I'm more of a presence.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
videos. I mean, you have to do video.
I have to.
I mean,
Even
people
if
want
it's
to
just
see
little
their
testimonials
just relate,
or something, and now as these kids come up and they graduate, have them do like a little 2-minute, like this is why I studied here, this is why me and Chase are this, that, and the other, and that'll go a long way, man.
I think Brooks, we need to do a cheers
Yeah, let's do it.
just for Chase's badass.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
thank you.
For
Cheers.
sure.
Cheers. Y'all are awesome. This is cool. I didn't even drink it.
Yeah, we got cameras on you now. We're gonna bust you out.
So there's gonna be a lot. There'll be a lot more content posted on the Instagram page, and I've already picked up like over 2,000 followers or so since the fight. So
That's huge.
I just wish people would know like the impact of your Twitter because people write on Twitter, but the way you write, I mean, it's why Twitter's small characters, and the way you deliver a message is straight to the point, and that's what's. You definitely, I mean, and I hope you bring that too with the Instagram. I'm just saying for me, I don't follow a lot of people on Twitter. A lot of stuff's negative. It's never kind of, makes you laugh. And when Chase posts something, and I've been following you for a while, and it just makes me laugh. Every time he posts, you got it. You can relate.
yeah,
And that's important.
Relatability is sales, man. That's where it's at. People want to be able to relate.
exactly, and that's what I think it is too. Because I forget that I have like almost 30,000 followers on Twitter, and everybody sees what I say, so I'm just authentic. I'm just myself.
Right.
People are like,
And that's the way you should
this
be.
guy just said that on Twitter, and I'm like, shit, I forget. Like it's about to be fucking all over ESPN and everything. I'm like,
At the end of the day, don't follow you for being you.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you own that.
And that's what I'm saying. When you talk to me, like if I don't care if you're ESPN or not or whoever. I'm just me.
Right.
That's who I'm going to be. I don't
Well, you
have.
definitely have some of the most cunning after post-fight interviews that I've ever heard in my life. And if you guys ever get a chance, go back and watch some of them on YouTube. You will not be disappointed.
And you have your own supplement, right?
Yeah, and Still Nutrition is a company based out of Pensacola, and he reached out to me. He's like, "Look, man, I'm making supplements for all these fighters. We're putting their logos on them so they can sell them individually." And sorry, the stout got to me.
You're good, bro.
And,
Take your time, man.
And basically you get a cut off whatever you're selling. It was just a cool way to make money or whatever. But I wasn't really concerned about making money. I just wanted a good
Brand.
product that I could take. And I like all of his stuff, But You obviously can go to his page and order whatever you want. We sell, BCAAs. It's all like stuff that your body needs. Branched chain amino acids, your proteins, your multivitamins, your joint remedy, things that athletes need or just people in general. And it's good stuff.
And then you also got your T-shirt brand. I was looking for some of those today. I was looking for some. But,
I love these shirts. The guy that makes them. So it got so much of a hassle to do it locally, because then I have to go do pre-orders and pre-sizing and would have to get a certain amount ordered in, served first. And now this guy was like, "Hey, we make shirts. You tell us what kind of design you want. They can order them from the site. We deliver them to them whenever, and then you get a little kickback off of it." I was like, "Sure, I don't care." And really, it was never about the money for me there, anyways. I just wanted a badass shirt.
That's right. I saw 3 or 4 different ones. I was looking at. There was a good variety of them.
I'm big on how shirts fit too, man. Like if it's like I can't wear 100% cotton, I'm not a big fan of them.
I like it. I want one.
My girlfriend, she shrinks all my clothes and then just to keep them for herself. She does
on
it
purpose.
on purpose.
On purpose, yeah.
Mine too.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, I really like this, this hoodie." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then we go to wash it. I was like, "Look, don't dry it on high heat." And that some bitch will be sitting there for 3 days in the dryer on high heat.
Really?
And
she's like, "Oops, I shrinked it."
she Emily does that to like Stably. All
Yeah.
the Stably stuff, like the all Stably shirts. I go get them. I'm like, new run of the Mardi Gras shirts. Of course, he did your logo, but like, she gets super excited because I also collect Stably's art.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I love his artwork.
I have them all over my house, all of his frame, all of his art.
And but she's every time it's like I wear this shirt for 2 times, 2 times, and then she starts wearing it.
So we got to start buying 2 of each. I
Yeah,
think.
well, I feel
Or
like we
maybe
do.
3, because if we buy 2, they're just going to steal 2.
I'm that guy where like a 2X is too big and an XL fits just right. But if you
I'm that same way.
if you just one time in the dryer, it shrinks that way. You got to walk around with your hands like this. You can't, like, if you don't have to ask a question, you don't want to raise your hand.
I got you. I'm in that same strike
Looks
zone.
like the old school shimmy shirts, for football. Yeah, I'm not.
I just went up to coronavirus. I mean, I really I fit right into an XL now.
Yeah, perfectly.
About 20 pounds since Corona.
I put on some weight since Corona.
You need to get your ass to the academy then.
Yeah.
I might do
it's
it.
right up the road.
Do a little rolling.
I'll get past crawfish season.
That's the next step. I'm trying to look for local sponsors to help kind of
step in
and send some money for these kids. But I want to get them they have those rollout mounts. They're like 10 by 10 or 8 by 8s.
Right.
The wrestler mats.
Well, if you're out there, guys, and we're looking for sponsors for the Vennela Academy,
we're gonna drop it.
It's about to be huge, man. I just went and sat down with a business partner today, a business guy, and he's really successful in what he's done. He's my parents work for him,
so big things coming.
And kind of mapped out some ways to. I'm going to be trying to build a new training facility soon.
What?
Yeah, I want to try to build a training facility, and go from there.
Well, anything that we can do for you.
Yeah,
I'm
down.
back on here. And actually, one thing I think would be fun is to take those lavalier mics and go check it out.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I mean it.
We could mic up inside the garage and make Jourdan run.
What is your vision? What's your age groups and stuff that you're going to be, kind of focusing on?
But most, like, my passion is obviously high school collegiate athletes. Whether you're in high school, trying to go to college, or you're already in that college level,
right?
I'm not gonna sit here and say, I want to work with pro athletes because I haven't. I want to know everything that I can possibly know
to take to that level.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, okay, I know what it takes to train a pro athlete.
Yeah, maybe a fighter, but not a
fighter. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Because I just have to dive off into that a little bit more. Maybe go get my CSCS.
But you're doing it the right way, organically. Starting.
That's the reason I'm not like taking in. I'm not going to be an MMA coach because I still have a lot to learn in that realm. You know what I mean? But I personally I know a great deal about strength and conditioning. And
for sure.
Athletes.
Look at you, bro. You're like a walking wall.
Well, I mean, I've just worked with.
It really does. It's huge.
I worked with a lot of good coaches, and that stuff really pertains to me. It interests me, so I pay attention to the things that they teach. You know what I mean? And
do you think being making a decision to become a firefighter, do you think that was a big impact on you to step up your strength and conditioning?
No, I've always
You've always been that way.
Yeah, I've always been that way. I mean, even when I'm on shift, I'm always going out there and trying to
push yourself.
Get one in, you know. Trying to get the guys to do it. I mean, too, like, so everybody at the station now is on board, and like we're all like every day just getting one in. Didn't matter. Put the guys through a little ringer that day, man. They really enjoyed it.
Well, whenever they see you go compete, I know whenever we did the bare knuckle fights and we had the tables there, and your fellow firefighters were also there, and to see just the energy that they had, you know, cheering you on, it's a brotherhood. You know, hey, if you're in a 2 foot you know,
culvert
pipe with somebody, that's your brother, no matter what.
You went through hell with those guys.
Exactly.
But I mean, even guys that you didn't go through the academy with, my lieutenants and engineers and stuff, you build a brotherhood with those guys too.
And they want to get out there and they want to work out with you. I mean, it's an honor to go work out with you at this point. You know,
well,
I mean, if Chase is doing it, maybe I'll get up and do it too, kind of thing. And
there's like, we're not gonna have a fucking. Sorry,
no, you're good.
We're not gonna have a freaking recruit going out there and outworking us.
No, heck no.
You know what I mean? So, but it's cool because you build a brotherhood with those guys too, and because you live with those guys a third of your life,
right?
And you go into fires with them, you know what I mean? Like
you want to make sure they trust or have your back. You know, it's a trust.
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. You're going into a burning building with those guys, and one of the other might have to pull you out. You know?
We've seen backdraft.
Yeah,
I have.
I'm not going to compare it to going to war or anything with the, you know, but still there.
But it's its own version of war.
Yeah, exactly. There's a chance that you might have come out of there. You know what I mean? And you're dependent on those guys, so you do build a strong brotherhood with them. And
well, let's just give a shout out to the Gulfport Fire Department.
Yeah,
what
sure.
up? What up?
Yeah.
We're trying to get them paid more money, and we're trying to get them recognized more. So if anybody out there wants to break it off, make it happen, they're the hardest working people.
Definitely sponsorship, guys, because I mean, that's marketing. It'll help your business grow. You know, back in Chase and his vision definitely will help your business.
Yeah, and your walk in life. You know, anybody that you come in contact with at any given point will potentially have a kid that will be in the role of needing some kind of strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah.
So as long as they're like, hey man, I like this guy, he's a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
There's your future, you know.
Yeah, and even if you're not even an athlete, you know what I mean? That's not. I enjoy training athletes the most, but if you're a stay-at-home,
bullied a little bit,
or that too, or if you're just a stay-at-home mom or whatever, you want to just get in shape, or if you're like, I'm working with a lot of my buddies right now that were you know before they had kids and stuff, they were in fairly good shape and stuff, and they're like calling me. I'm like, look, man, I'm ready to get back in shape. You know, I'm almost 30, or I am 30, and you know, I see what you're doing. And I'm like, look. Bring your ass over.
Yeah, you get out of shape so fast.
Exactly,
man,
but they come over. Then they come over and they think it's
they come over one time.
Yeah, they come over and they think it's buddy time. Nah, when we open that garage door, it's time to go to work, and I don't care about
Sweat
it.
Factory.
And they're like dying. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos I posted.
I've seen. Yeah. It doesn't seem fun. It doesn't seem fun.
We're trying to get Jourdan in there to do that, and we're gonna record it all.
I'm like, you called me. You called me. Exactly. You wanted help. I'm not gonna. You know what I mean?
Are you nice to him, or are you kind of a dick to him?
I'm nice to him unless I feel like they're quitting on themselves. You know, but
yeah, and you gotta yell.
Strength and conditioning.
That's what a coach is.
You played football in college. I mean, strength and conditioning coaches are the most intense ever.
But at the end of the day, whenever you go back and you look at it and you look at your success and where it all came from, or your technique and your form, those guys played such a huge role into your life.
Well, exactly.
Whether you realize it then or not. You know.
Well, you realize too that they realize you can push your body.
Yeah, you said it earlier, but mentally,
it's all here. I learned that mostly from the academy.
Right.
You can push your body to. Oh my God, dude!
Like crawl through the 2 foot culvert.
Yeah, I mean, you think you're in hell? You haven't even reached the gates yet. I mean, there's so much more left in the tank than you can imagine. Our bodies, man, are capable of some crazy.
And I've always been
things.
like that. So my dad, he'll run marathons, and he's 63 years old now.
Is he?
And he pushes and pushes. And I would go run with him when I was a kid, and I would go sign up for like the 5Ks and the 10Ks, 1 mile fun run and stuff. But like after about 3.5 miles, I was done. I was just like, I don't want to run anymore. And my legs hurt, and I felt my stomach hurt. And he'd just look at me, and he'd laugh, and he'd be running circles around me. He's like, just don't quit. Yeah. Just don't quit.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, right.
Dude, I mean,
Robert Brooks.
I challenge everybody, man, to really, just even if it's once, like really dive off into like really trying to push yourself till you just literally can't go anymore. Like just one time try it, because you'll really surprise yourself.
Surprise yourself, yeah.
I mean, like once you think you're like ready to quit, like you're like, you can't, like you're like probably only a quarter of the way there.
And that's the problem with our society now, because most people have lost the ability to do that, whether it be, you know, with work ethic, or whether it be with working out, or whether it be with, you know, anything.
Yeah.
It's so easy to walk away.
Well,
it's you know, you see it all the time.
Everybody's all about the instant gratification, and they want to say, "Oh, I ain't got time to do this and time to do that," or, you know. And I'm like, you tell me you ain't got freaking 3 hours out of your entire week to dedicate to yourself and your health, and you're just full of excuses. There's nowhere to. Right. It's just not important to you. And that's what I told my buddies. I was like, look, if you want my help, that's fine. I'll help you in any way I can. No charge, because you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're friends.
So come on, we're friends. Come over here, no charge. I said, the first time I tell you we're having a training session and you don't show up, I said, don't call me again unless you got a freaking paycheck in your hand, because I'm not going to deal with it. And they've called.
Pretty effective way.
You know, like it was like one day they were like, they did one session. They're like, next day they were like, I got to go to dinner with my wife. I haven't heard her or seen her in a while. I was like, nah. I said, you're coming tonight, or don't call me again. I said, classes until 8 o'clock.
That'd be me. I'd be like, man, I gotta go get gas.
But you know, my thing though, I have to ask. You're probably one of the most humble people I've ever met in my life, and this is because I mean we're in the Neptune line. Yeah. When you did Slugfest back in the day, I mean I followed you. You know, we've been to bars together and hung out.
Yeah.
How are you so humble?
I don't, because I just don't want to be a stereotypical douchebag.
Yeah,
I don't want
that's
to be,
pretty good motivation.
I feel like if I say one thing that doesn't have some humility behind it, I'll be like, oh, that guy's just a fucking douchebag fighter. He thinks he's so cool. No, there's some people that think that anyways that don't even know me,
right.
Of course. But
everybody gets that stigma. You know, most people are so scared to get out there and actually meet somebody, and they just see all their posts or they see pictures and they build this whole facade in their head on who they are. And I mean, I'm guilty of it. I've met people in the past, and I'm like, man, you're nothing like I thought you were.
Yeah.
And it just proves you.
I'm guilty of it too. I'm like, even with other fighters, I'm like, I've heard, like one of the guys that's he's an engineer before I met him. And he's a fighter as well, and in the academy they were like, Sherman, you might know Joe. He's one of the fighter. He's a fighter, MMA guy as well, and he's gonna come train y'all tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna be a freaking douchebag. He's a freaking fighter. You know what I mean? Like he's an MMA fighter. I'm sure. Get real. Like he's probably gonna see me and be like trying to challenge me, but. Dude, this guy.
All facade in your
he's like the coolest guy I've ever met in the entire. Like he's like, dude, he is one of the most genuine people I've ever met. You know what I mean? Like he's a really cool dude. But
I feel the same way about you, bro.
I feel the same way. Yeah, I'm right there with him.
It's like I've met some guys that are somewhat douchebags that are fighters, but 90% of them are cool.
Yeah, I mean, Killer B.
Yeah, he's a douchebag. He's a douchebag.
Yeah. He's gonna choke you.
He already did.
Yeah, he's my cornerman too. He's my buddy.
But we love Brandon.
We love Brandon. Like Chad J is like.
Oh, I love Chad J.
No, you'd never think that guy was a fighter ever.
No, man, he's Gaucher Firefighter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My mattress store, they bought mattresses from me, and I love the Gaucher guys, and they just come by and they mess with me and stuff. But Chad J is a great guy. Little Rodney, my cousin Little Rodney, he's somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But and he's and I met him through you, and my little cousin Rodney, guys, you just got to be around this guy. All his friends are just, I don't know.
I heard they're opening the bowling alley back up this week.
I just messaged him earlier and asked him if he wanted to go have some drinks. He was like, we're waiting until midnight. He's like, oh, the Cougars are supposed to be going to the casino room. And I was like, why midnight?
Are they open at midnight? I thought everything was closed at 10.
I don't know what's going on. He said it was
just on the Cougar hunt.
Yeah, he said it was Quint's idea. I don't know.
That sounds something like Quint would.
Yeah, Quint won't drive over here, but he will go there.
He called me up the other day. He goes, we're going to see each other one day soon, Brooks. I promise.
Yeah. I've been trying to get a hold of Quint for like months now. I'm like, Quint, I need to get a hold of you. I'm trying to open this business, trying to get a house.
You got to call the bank number.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, tell him old lady.
Disguise your voice.
I told my old lady to like call him. Like, look, he's not going to know it's me. Just call the bank and set an appointment.
That's funny.
But, yeah, so.
Shout out to Coop Homes.
Yeah.
Coop Homes. They're building up all these nice little houses.
I love Quint.
Yeah. He's doing big things, man.
I love that dude, man.
Yeah.
He's my banker.
Another Neptune guy, though. Neptune line 5.
Yeah, line 5 guy.
Line 5 is going to make a lot of moves this year.
We already
We're
are.
gonna
That's
be
big,
like
yeah.
the biggest damn entrepreneur line there.
Yeah.
Oh, for
it's
sure.
happening. They did reschedule the Crawfish Bowl for the 20th. I don't know if you saw that, so clear your schedule, June 20th.
June 20th.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
We're
gonna
gonna
be a good
win.
time. Yeah, we're gonna win.
We better win.
We got a little Jackie Weaver gonna cook our crawfish.
Gerald, you look
Him and
at
Daniel
my eyes,
D'Amico.
Gerald. Gerald, look at my eyes.
He'll never make it this far in our podcast.
We're gonna win,
I'm
Gerald.
tired of line 3 winning everything.
Oh man,
I know it's Madison. God, he's got his little smile where he just.
yeah.
I love
You know?
those guys.
I do
That's like
too,
what I
man.
said, like,
I like our
yeah.
I thought we should just make a line 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Madison, man. The whole line's great. But line 5, come on, guys, let's be serious.
Yeah,
You don't have Hologross.
yeah. Nobody's got Hologross. Hologross is where it's at. But anyway, let's take it back to that phone call that you did get. You know, like we said, what was that? 2 weeks ago now? 2 weeks ago seems about right. What was your mind at whenever you answered the random phone call, and all of a sudden you're like, "Hey, Mr. Sherman."
Oh, well, okay. So first of all, literally like a couple days before that, man. I mean, we were dealing with this whole pandemic thing. I didn't get to fight in March. The guy backed out a couple days before. Scheduled a fight at the IP for the title, for a regional title with Atlas on April 11th. That fell through because they shut down all the casinos. So really, you're looking at a good chunk of change right there for the last 2 months that goes to paying for all my bills, you know,
Right.
because fighting pays for a lot of that, you know.
Absolutely.
The fire department, I don't make much because I just started out. I wasn't able to pay, like, you know, my rent and different things, you know. I'm making like $1,500 a month after taxes with the fire department, you know, and insurance.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, man, this is stressful. And I'm not a real God-fearing guy, but I consider myself somewhat of a spiritual person.
Right.
And I was just like, man, the first time I prayed in a while, I was like, look, man, I just need some help.
Better start
So-
praying more often,
I was
man.
like,
Look how it worked out for you.
I was like, please, just something. Give me some help. Like, I just need something. And then I had my first little client, you know, with the kids. And I was like, okay, cool. And all that started popping off in like 2-3 days. And I was like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, like that. I thought that's what it was.
Right.
And right before the class started on like the second or third day of it, and my manager called me, FaceTime me, and he's always like, you know, he's jacking the leg with me. So I was like shooting the shit. So I didn't think none of it. He calls me. He's like, what's up, man? And I was like, not much. About to go.
So he played you.
Yeah. Like, not much. About to go train these kids, you know? And he was like, yeah. He goes, what's today? And I was like, May 1st. He's like, yeah, it is. I was like, what are you talking about, Dean? Like, what's going on? He was like, well, what are you going to be doing the next 12 days? I said, I don't know. Probably freaking working. Because I ain't got no damn money, you know what I mean? And he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, Dean, what you want, man? I got to go train these kids. And he's like, well, he said, you're not going to be training for your fight? And I was like, I said, what you got? Like, I said, because Dean also does island fights, you know, the promotion in Pensacola that I fight for.
Yeah.
I was like, what, you got a show set up or something you want me to be on? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, what are you talking about? You know, I don't have a fight in 12 days. And he was like, yeah, you do. May 13th in Jacksonville, Florida, you just signed a 4-fight deal with the UFC. And I was like, shut up.
4-fight deal?
Well, it's a 4-fight contract.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, shut up. And he was like, no, I'm serious. So I was like, Nate, I said,
Yeah,
don't.
you'd kill somebody for playing
I said, don't screw with me right now. It's not funny. He was like, no, I swear to God. And I was looking at him, I was like, damn, you serious? He's like, yeah, I swear to God. And I immediately I didn't know how to feel. Because I wasn't expecting nothing at all. I hadn't fought an MMA fight in over a year. PFL said they want me, and then they didn't say they want me, and then UFC said I needed a couple more fights, and then, you know, I wasn't able to get those fights in April and March, and I was like, what the hell is going on right now? You know, and I was like, you know, immediately went from I'm super excited to like
ecstatic.
To like I gotta train. I haven't done shit in like 2 months.
Scared a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta go now. Like I gotta get trained now. Like I leave in 6 days. You know?
At that point, did they tell you who you would be fighting? Or
Yeah, they told me right then and there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Had you heard of him prior to that, or did
No,
you have to
not
jump
at all.
on YouTube and?
Yeah, it didn't matter for me. I was taking the fight.
It doesn't matter.
It could have been a damn grizzly bear. I was taking it. You know, and
Respect.
And so I was like, oh man, like I gotta call my coaches. I gotta figure something out. I'm working still at the fire department, train these kids. So like really a 6-day span, this is kind of how it went. I worked 24 hours on at the fire department, 48 off. So in the days that I was off, I had to figure out how to train these kids, get my medicals done, my physical, my eye exam, my blood work, sign all these contracts, do all my USADA reporting and all that stuff for the drug testing. And then in between all that, within the 6 days, find time somehow to train. And while this is in the middle of the pandemic, stuff isn't open,
Right.
Get all my.
It's almost like Rocky when he had to go to Russia to train for the Russian, and he was like lifting cinder blocks and stuff instead of weights.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was crazy what was going on.
But show up, you did.
Yeah.
What was it? A second round KO.
Yes.
Due to a elbow.
Yep.
And what did you say? Tied for a UFC record.
Yeah, for standing elbow finishes.
That's pretty awesome.
Yep, and then third in UFC heavyweight history for significant strikes landed per minute, and that's in all the fights combined, not that
Okay.
one. So,
Okay.
like they give you a statistic for how many significant.
They got
strikes.
stats for everything now, don't they?
Oh, yeah,
Man,
dude.
it's crazy. But hey, hold on to those and capitalize on them.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
we're one elbow knockout away from
Yeah, the elbows are.
Being
being the
one.
only one. Right?
It's like your signature move.
Yeah.
No, that leg kick's a signature move,
leg
man.
kicks.
Woo. Jordan, so anyway, he's going to kick you in the leg while we're up here on camera.
Right, I got CP dog. There's no way.
Yeah.
No, but man, Chase, we were impressed with how dominating performance that you did. I know you're not done hearing about it because people are going to be talking about it forever. But a chance to get back in there and show the people what you've been, I guess, storing because like you said, everything kind of happens for a reason.
Yep.
You went through your trials and tribulations and not being there, and then found what it took to get back in a, I guess, different route.
Yeah.
You did the bare knuckle, which was impressive to watch, but I know you gave it some accreditation to your ability to stand and box a little bit.
That's helped out a lot. That really did. I mean, just in my game, because I've always been able to feel like was able to box, but when you went to bare knuckle, you really had to focus on accuracy and precision and placement of your punches and just your head movement and everything, because nobody wants to get hit by a bare knuckle, and nobody wants to throw a punch that's going to land off the crown of somebody's forehead
And break your hand.
So my punching accuracy significantly got better. My footwork significantly got better. My head movement significantly got better. And it was a good thing. I mean, I think everything happened for a reason, for sure.
Well, I don't think that we're done hearing about it. I think you said they're already trying to get you to come back. But we're being strategic and picking out when and where we want to train and fight.
Yep.
So that's good. But at the end of the day, man, we're rooting for you. You know, we think the sky's the limits and believe the hype, as they say.
That's right. That was
And it wasn't over. But you got to let people. I mean, it definitely was not overnight success. I mean, you've been working at this game for a long time.
Yeah, I started fighting about 8 years ago or so.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Trained,
Yeah, it's. I
trained
mean,
about, 8, 9 years.
definitely deserve everything you got, and I love like people look up to you. And that's huge. Like,
Yeah, well, some they probably shouldn't, but
Better than most.
in my professional life, yeah, maybe not so much in my personal life.
No, bad dude driving his Harley Davidson around.
firefighter with a Harley.
That's right.
Well, anyway, man, we can wrap it up here. I want to say thanks for coming on. We appreciate
Yeah,
having
it's cool,
you.
man.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I want to come do this again.
Come on back, man.
Hey,
We're
anytime
glad
you want,
to have
buddy.
We're gonna do some weird stuff next time.
Yeah, we will. Well, we got the what is that over there? The lava lamp and
That's the mood.
What's the grandma thing? And whatever that
It's my
is.
grandma. Like, I got it at the thrift store. My grandma, well, she's no longer here anymore, but she just stayed at the casinos and gambled all the time.
Yeah.
And I seen that right there at the thrift store.
Reminds
$2.
you of her. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's right. Reminds me of her.
All right. Well, let's sign it off. Hey, guys, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Come back for another episode. We'll talk to y'all then. Peace.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you guys. Talk to you later.